Hey, crew, welcome back to the Happily Living podcast. If you're new here, this space is all about living intentionally, joyfully, and sustainably, not perfectly. And if you've been here for a while, welcome back. This month's episode is landing right in the middle of the season of more. More deals, more dinners, more decorations, more debt, and more dopamine hits. And in between all that more, we've got, National Recycle Day that just passed. And it just leads me to believe that it's a way for us to just, hello, are you there? Make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do as an individual. Because yes, we're not perfect. We're constantly consuming no matter how little it is. Sustainability isn't perfection, right? So just acknowledging the things that are put in place during the biggest month of more, something we should think about. So today we're talking about overconsumption, the thing that happens when our habits start consuming us. So let's start with the why behind it all. And I broke these down into different acts. So act one, I get asked this all the time. Why is this so important to me? Why am I so passionate about the environment and being sustainable and eco conscious, this whole mindful living movement? Honestly, there's multiple things that got me here. I don't even know how I fully got here, to be quite frank. My sister, I have different sisters. That was weird, right? I have multiple sisters, but we're known for different things. I'm known as the hippie. Jules is known as the Paris Hilton, and Gia is known for the gym rat. So I grew up in a household that decorated and continues to decorate for the nines every holiday. My first episode, I told you all how Halloween and Valentine's Day are my favorite. They still are, but as I've gotten older, I've realized America is just one big sales gimmick. And every holiday has its aesthetic, its shopping list, its color scheme, its target section. And I'll be real, whenever I start talking about sustainability, I sometimes feel like the Grinch Who Stole Christmas and Black Friday. Because deep down, I love to celebrate. I love it. I love living fully, decorating, indulging, hosting, thriving. But I've also had to get really honest about what that looks like on the same salary I had when I was serving for 3 years. So I've improvised. I found ways to have it all just differently. I've got a house. I've gotten to renovate so much with my partner. I've adopted 2 crackhead dogs from the shelter because, well, not because, but although they were on sale, they're one of my biggest expenses every month. And I still find myself hopping out of the car to grab plastic bags or styrofoam when I see it outside. That's the balance. That's the chaos. That's the happily living. So let's move into Act Two, seeing it for what it is. I think because of my travels, I've seen firsthand what overconsumption does. It's not just in recycling PSA kind of way, but in a visceral, this is real kind of way. Like, I've seen beaches where plastic and waste outnumber shells, and it's devastating. Like, it's so real. I've seen stray animals chewing on wrappers and monkeys literally licking butter wrappers and containers. I've watched waste pile up in spaces that can't even process their own. And then I come home and it's business as usual, right? That's the thing. We throw things away, but there's no away. It's an out of sight, out of mind. And I've come to the awareness that out of sight does not mean it's out of here. And that's the thing. Our lives are set up for consumption, but we barely notice it anymore. And I'm not here to make you feel bad in any way for living life, right? I am in no way having an episode talk about overconsumption where I'm telling you shouldn't do things as like that's it. You shouldn't do things, because who's going to listen to that? I wouldn't listen to that. But you guys do know that when I have episodes, I talk about the truth. I bring awareness to something. I talk about what that looks like as an individual in a day-to-day setting, and how what simple shifts that we could do in our lives, how that changes it and makes a huge impact. And it also contributes to our overall well-being, both financially, mentally, and environmentally. So let's talk about the weekly yard work, right? The fertilizer, the pest control, the constant upgrading of what's already working fine, the new fall decor every year, the 5th reusable water bottle because that one's cuter, the new iPhone because it's time for an upgrade. It's not just buying, it's habitual buying, it's identity buying. It's I shop, therefore this is who I am. And this month, November, it's amplified to the max. So before we move on to the next act, I want to discuss those little ones in a little bit more depth. So yard work, leaving the leaves is a huge deal. Leaving the leaves does not mean you don't care for your house, your apartment, whatever it is. It's not a way of showing you are irresponsible. Leaving the leaves does not mean that you don't care, but the exact opposite. We have neighbors who take so much pride in their household look that they will literally do other people's lawns that don't want it done because they can't stand it and they don't want their leaves coming over into their lawn. It's actually insane. Like, it is such a big deal to have this green, clean yard look, when in reality, we have homes. You don't want bugs to go into your homes in the winter? Don't pick up the leaves. We need ladybugs, caterpillars, moths, things that you don't think about as pivotal to your well-being in the spring and summer are pivotal, because you don't want the bad bugs like grubs and I'm blanking, but you get the point. Like all the bad things that you don't want are eaten and taken care of by these good bugs that need hibernation, that rely on the leaves. So leaving the leaves is not going to suffocate your lawn. It's not going to kill your lawn. It may look yellow at some places in the spring, but that is going to happen regardless because the snow will do the same thing. But this will actually protect your lawn because it's not going to be frostbitten or taken over by the bad bugs that you now have fungus because of in your lawn, or now that your pollinators and your flowers aren't growing because you don't have any pollinators because the leaves are gone and the bees that hibernate in the ground don't have a home. So do yourself a favor, do less work and reap the benefits. Or let's talk about the new fall decor. I get it. I understand. You feel like you have such an open space and some things are just out of style and some things really are, right? Having that like that you did in 2012 is going to be very different than what you currently have. I get it. But maybe find ways to integrate, and the ways that we are trying to show you on our Instagram, and how you can decorate your home during the seasons using sustainable options that make it look the way you want it to. It's not like it's, I want this, but I can't do this. Sometimes it is like that, but If you listen to previous episodes from last year, where we had discussed the importance of green in having real pine trees and having real garland and using fruit and dry it out and do like there's such beautiful methods of decorating your home that aren't going to be catastrophic to your surroundings and your budget. But let's move on to the water bottle situation, shall we? The fifth water bottle, whether it's a Walla, whether it's whatever the heck, because I left my water bottle at my sister's last night, and that was a huge mistake. I've been very parched. Like drinking out of a glass is very different for me because I always have my water bottle everywhere, like in the house especially. It's quite interesting, especially once you start doing that, you'll realize that you like carry it with you everywhere. But I forgot the name of that brand. It's a big brand. Between Owala and that one, it's huge. Hydro Flask. Hydro Flask. So I have a Hydro Flask out of coincidence. Like, let me just be straightforward. I looked up something that would be very good as a water bottle. And Hydro Flask is there. They have really good products. But do I need 5 of them? No. I found one that I really thought was super cute. And yes, there's always going to be more that are cuter. But look, I looked into one that I knew would last. I have a straw that'll shut, so I can have it on my bag, or I can have it on my backpack, or I have it on my bed, and it's not going to spill. And it still has the straw opportunity, right? Like I want to drink out of a straw. I thought about things, is what I'm trying to tell you. I thought about my purchase as I was going into it. Just because others may have cute water bottles doesn't mean you need to get another one. You can definitely say, that is such a cute water bottle, I love it. Or however, but you don't need to feel like you're less than just because you don't have the cutest water bottle. Secondly, the iPhone. I still have the iPhone 12 and it's literally working so well. But I've been told that I have a crap camera. And I think that's because I have no storage. So what was I going to do? Well, do I really want to go through my storage? Absolutely not. But I need to. I need to get over myself and go through the storage, which is 2,000 plus photos and videos and whatnot. That's why my camera quality is bad, because we have so much storage on our phone that then the phone is going to not have the best camera quality because it's utilizing other things. Like, it may not make sense in the way I'm describing it, but I'm telling you, you don't need a new phone. You need to go through your phone. And that's what I mean by habitual buying and identity buying. You want the next best thing. You want the cutest thing, but it's all in a trend, and it's, I shop, therefore I am. And it doesn't need to be that way. So Act 3, welcome to the season of more. You've got Thanksgiving telling us to be grateful. And then Black Friday showing up 12 hours later screaming, but wait, there's more. Like that ad gimmick where it tells you, da 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 da, but if you act now, then you get this off. But wait, there's more. Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, endless doorbusters, early access deals, treat yourself ads. It's this weird cultural whiplash between gratitude and greed. And then we just had National Recycling Day on November 15th, which was a huge deal because I think so many people think it's a scam. And in some aspects, like maybe it doesn't work out the way it's supposed to. But that is because we're not educated on the things that are actually recyclable. And so when you talk about the different statistics in which things actually get recycled, it's only referring to the fact that majority of it that can be recycled isn't. And we post the breakdown of it on our Instagram, which would be a really good visual representation if that's something you wanted to look at. I think it could be very helpful. But a quick tidbit for you would be that you can only recycle the triangles that have 1, 2, and 5. So just remember, anything with 1, 2, and 5, that can be recycled. But put this into perspective, like you have National Recycling Day, and then you have Thanksgiving and New Year's and Christmas and Black Friday, and those aren't in order. But I mean, like, it's almost like we're just given this moment to recognize, like, hey, do your due diligence because this is huge through it all. Does that make sense? And I feel like with the time between Thanksgiving and New Year's, there's so much more waste that goes into the trash every year in the US alone. And I looked it up, and it wasn't just like a feeling, it's a legit thing. There's an extra 1 million tons of trash every single week in the US alone that occurs from household waste between Thanksgiving and New Year's. And that's about 25% more than the typical day to day occurrence in the year. Like, we think we're doing our part by rinsing out our yogurt cups, but the truth is, it's the system that's broken, not just our bins. And yet, even knowing all that, I still love the holidays. The smells, the lights, the cooking, the gathering. I love it all. So, no, I'm not here to ruin your Black Friday or make you feel guilty about putting up twinkling lights, but I'm here to remind you that sustainability isn't about perfection, it's about participation. And participation starts with awareness. So we'll move on to the next act. It's the personal reckoning. It's how I am who I am. It's my story, right? In a quick synopsis. Because if I'm being real, I've been on both sides of this. I've done the whole I deserve this Target run. I filled my cart with throw blankets and mugs and candles and whatever else that called my name that day. And now I do something different. I still put things in my cart mentally, physically. I pause, I walk through the store, I finish my lap, and then at the end, I ask myself, do I really need this? Would I actually be sad if I didn't get it? Is this something I'll love for years, or is this something that's just fulfilling me right now? And I also look at, where it's made, what it's made out of, and the quality of it all, because at the end of the day, if my dogs are able to tear it up, it's probably not that great. And also, if it's made in certain areas of the world, it probably means they didn't get paid the way they should. So you have to do a deeper dive if it's something that really means something to you. Because voting with your dollar is real. Hearing that all the time doesn't mean that it's not. Like, it's a big deal. What you put money towards makes these companies continue doing business. And so if you put your money towards things that are made by people who barely get any time off, if any, during the shift, not even talking about day-to-day operations, because they can't afford to take off, that's a huge problem. So when you look at this, it's the same concept as reading food labels. It's about paying attention. And when I walk out empty-handed, sure, yeah, I'm disappointed. Like, I'm really freaking bummed. Like, one time I walked out and Ben got a Target mug, and I was really excited for him because this was super cool. But also, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I hope you're happy. Like, I'm actually really fucking bummed that I didn't get anything. But it's because we've been conditioned to chase that dopamine of the new, right? That pause that we do get when we start building those habits of, no, I don't really need this, or no, it's going to fall apart, or I actually want this, but better, and I'm just sacrificing because I want it now, or the better thing I don't have all the funds for, and so I'd rather just do this. You're creating a habit that isn't fulfilling your long-term self. So by saying no, you're building something better. Because that no might be the same reason as I can now afford to get my nails done, or I can now take a weekend trip, or not panicking when unexpected bills hit because I didn't pay for something that wasn't in the budget. It's not about deprivation, it's about redirection. And I'm not like trying to preach to the choir. This is something I'm still consistently working on because I do that. Even when it's quality, even when it's from the thrift store, whatever it is, I still over purchase. I just bought a $125 15-pound turkey because it was taken care of properly, and I'm not even going to be here on Thanksgiving. So I'm donating it to one of my family part things, what have you. And then I'm just going to have a little bit. But like, I would so much rather pay for something that's worth it than I would buy something that is just to buy. So I'll break that down a little bit more, but I want to stay on topic because you guys know that I can get off topic very quickly. Act 7? Who knows? The cost of more, right? Let's talk numbers for a second. In 2024, Americans spent about $9.8 billion on Black Friday alone. And here's the kicker. The average household is projected to throw away $1,500 worth of unused items every year. That's not even counting the hidden costs like the energy, the shipping emissions, the labor behind those cheap deals. Overconsumption isn't just cluttering our homes, it's exhausting our planet, our wallets, our mental health. It's a trifecta, and we keep doing it because the system is built to make us feel like we're missing something, like we're not enough without more. But what if enough was actually enough? So, Act 8, redefining celebration, or Act 7. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like, what does it mean to celebrate in a world that's already full? Maybe it's decorating with what you already have, pieces that carry memory instead of a trend, right? Maybe it's cooking with intention and buying local, wasting less, slowing down. Maybe it's giving gifts that mean something, not just things, but experiences, quality time, presence, because gratitude isn't about scarcity. It's about seeing abundance differently. And maybe that's the real rebellion this season, not needing more to feel more. So when you think about, oh, I wish I had A, B, and C when you're decorating, and you feel less in the spirit of things because you don't have A, B, and C, but you're trying to be better. You don't have to go without decorations. You don't have to go without doing the things that make you happy just because you're trying to be sustainable. There are so many ways that you can decorate your home for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for whatever season is around. You can go to our previous episodes and they have so much insight that I loved getting to create for you guys that discuss how going green actually benefits our mental health, our wallet, and our overall surroundings and the environment, which is the surroundings. So go into that, listen, tune in, share with us what you found to be really helpful because I'm telling you, I get it. I love to purchase things and decorate. I'm not a person who doesn't, but there's ways that we can do it more friendly to all three things. Now, let's go into the ripple continues. Last month in the ripple effect, we talked about how small habits create waves. This month, we're facing the other side, how unchecked habits can start to drown us. But here's the good news. If one person, and I talk about this all the time, if one person can negatively impact the planet, then one person can also help heal it. That's the ripple. That's you. You don't need to change everything, just something. Maybe this year you decide to buy a 3-in-1 travel utensil where if you travel a lot for work, you don't have to use plastic cutlery and toss it out, because I was doing that all the time and I realized just because I'm one person, I'm literally going through so much and this is driving me nuts. Or maybe you decide to take a coffee tumbler with you when you go get coffee or tea any location because you know that you get it quite often. It's a habit you enjoy and you treat yourself into that indulgence, but you don't need to add waste to it because you don't have to. You have something fun and cute. But maybe this year you can skip the impulse buys and start small by maybe donating the fruit or veggies. I mean, it just depends on what you want to give away and what it actually is taken, but you know that's going to go bad. You know you don't want it. You're not going to be in the mood for it. Donate it to someone that needs it. Or the blankets and towels, right, that no longer match your aesthetic, to that same person that's sitting in the corner asking for help alongside the roads. Or maybe you take the money you would have spent on that random add to cart moment and use it towards something like that actual product you wanted to get in the first place. And you keep saving for it by taking all those moments and putting it away. That's what I do towards our trips when we go to Japan. I'm all these impulse buying. I'm trying to be better about it. And in those moments, I'm like, okay, add up all the cart, right, that I decide not to buy. And I'm like, okay, 150 bucks I would have spent on this, I'm going to put it towards Japan because I didn't spend it, and I'm going to treat myself because that's a good habit to have. Or if you want to do like a massage, a facial, a road trip, whatever it is that truly fills you up instead of just fulfilling your space that you may not have thought you'd be able to afford before. And maybe you leave the leaves this fall. Let those friendly bugs hibernate and return the favor come spring when your garden thrives because you didn't rake away their home. And now in the spring, you don't have fungus. You have more ladybugs. You don't have to worry about diseases or bugs that are coming into your home in the winter because they have shelter outside, right? And you let yourself enjoy your weekend because you're not outside doing yard work that doesn't have to be done. Just because you're not doing the yard work doesn't mean you don't care about your yard. Doesn't mean you don't care to take care of your home. It doesn't mean you're irresponsible. In fact, it's the quite opposite. Maybe you pop into a thrift store for holiday gifts this year for your niece, your nephew, your best friend, or maybe a baby shower that's coming up next year. And you get the books, you get the creativity and the secondhand option as the reason for the gift instead of the price tag. Or maybe this year, instead of exchanging gifts, you invite your friends or your family to donate to a cause that really lights you up inside. Like my sister, they donated to an ocean conservation for my birthday. And I was so glee-ridden inside. That had made me so happy. And I never thought about it before, but we're told about it. And I was like, you know what? I love that. Thank you so much. That was one of the best gifts I could have ever received. Or maybe you skip the upgrade this year, knowing that your phone still works perfectly fine, even though you're due for an upgrade. Like I was supposed to get a new phone. I have an iPhone 12, but I don't think I need a new phone. I think I need to go through my storage because I have about 2,000 videos and photos combined, and I think that's where it degrades the camera quality to save up for other space. Because every single thing that we decide we need, we may not need. So whatever it is, even if it's just one thing, it counts because every conscious choice, no matter how small, keeps that ripple moving outward, touching lives, shifting habits, and reminding the world that living happily and sustainably can truly be one and the same. So let's close this out. As we head into Thanksgiving, I hope you take a deep breath and look around and see what is already yours. The people, the home, the love, the light, because the happily living community isn't about perfection. It's about participation and presence. And I heard that out loud. It's presence with the ENCE, not ENTS. So this month, that awareness, that presence might just be the greatest gift you give yourself and the planet. Until next month, with love and